spiral. But that's the kind of reality we live in. If we want to learn to manipulate it, we're going to have to get used to a lot of things, including stop labeling high energy states as spiritual and low energy states as physical, because they're not. There's only one continuum. And spiritual and physical are simply stages or aspects of it. And this hamburger universe, which is the name of my website, the hamburger universe is the way most of the world thinks today about anything to do with the beyond. The God's up there keeping an account of everything you and I do, and the devil is down here waiting to punish us if the score God keeps isn't satisfactory. And it's amazing how many people still think in that way. Do you think that anyone who has still got this program in the superconscious mind, the hamburger universe mindset, do you think that they will ever be able to stand up there and stop a tidal wave? Do you think they'll ever be able to stand out there and create the rain to fall on their crops? Do you think they'll ever be able to heal themselves? No. And it doesn't matter if they're atheists or agnostics, because this paradigm is still in the superconscious, and the only way to rectify that is to take it out. So everything that exists has emanated from the 0 point, a label which scientists are apparently more comfortable with when talking about God. And nothing can exist at a lower level, down here, unless it has emanated down from a higher level. I often give the example of you hang a coat or a dress or a pants in a closet. 0 point is the rail you hang the hanger on. The bottom of the dress or the coat can't hang in mid-air without the intervening layers going back up to the rail. And so it is in the frequency of the electromagnetic spectrum. If we exist on this physical plane, we also have to exist on the intermediate planes in between then and now. And that's what gives us great hope for being able to program the quantum field, because we are living in other bodies right now, other embodiments maybe, between the physical and the 0 point. We are living in all of them. That's why sometimes I was in Glastonbury last year speaking about orbs, and many other places, but there's a lady speaking there about orbs who has published an unknown quantity of books, 24 a year or something like that. And she persists in saying that she knows that the orbs are archangels and that she can tell them apart by their different colors, and we should all sort of, I suppose by implication, bow down and adore them. And I said, I've only one problem with that, because if an angel, which I do believe exists, that's not a problem. If an angel exists on the 5th plane, well, so do we. You and I are also living on the 5th plane now. Why should I revere an archangel more than me, seeing that I am also living exactly on the same plane as they are, even though I haven't conscious access to that body of mine right now, but I can attain it. So we have other bodies. We're like icebergs. 7/8 of it, or wherever it is, beneath the waves. The point on top is what's visible. That's the physical body. Much more to you and me that's not visible. And the bodies are asleep. Now, the wonders that Jesus spoke about doing, he said, you will do all the wonders I do. It means the most hackneyed phrase, I suppose, in the New Age. You will do all the wonders I did, and greater indeed than these will you do, from the Gospel of St. John. Those cannot be done, those wonders cannot be done, except through the higher bodies, except through accessing those higher bodies. So if we don't awake our body or our present that resides in the quantum field, we cannot do the creation. And that access is only through the superconsciousness, because the superconsciousness deals with all of these states from infrared upwards. The conscious deals only with these, with the physical. And that's where we try to work everything from. A thought produces what we picture in the thought. Now, all of these programs failed because they were conscious mind efforts. And the conscious can only access the bottom. I'm skipping a little because we're running low on time here. So what is the essential information to program the superconscious brain or mind? Remember that there is no past and there is no future in the superconsciousness. None. N-O-N-E. Therefore, if you try to program your superconsciousness with an attitude which is either living in the past or living in the future, nothing happens. Nothing goes through. You must be in the absolute present, or it's just filtered out. No past, no future. And it's almost impossible for us to accomplish that state. Because if I'm focusing, say I have cancer and I'm focusing on radiant health, almost inevitably, when we try to program the quantum field with radiant health, we are thinking of what we will be once we're healed. That is not the present, that is the future. Now Jesus gave a very bit of good advice on this. You know, someone said to me one time years ago, I like the scientific bit you were talking about, but when you turned religious, I didn't like it as well. When will you ever realize that Jesus wasn't religious? It was all about what we would call nowadays quantum physics that he was talking about. It was turned into a religion. But it's close at hand to our consciousness to speak about him. But he advised gratitude about something. Gratitude is as close to present as most of us are able to accomplish at the start. It's not quite the present, you know, if you're giving thanks for something rather than thinking about something. In other words, thank about rather than think about, then at least it's already there. You have a spirit of gratitude. But gratitude is also, to some degree, in the past. But it's closer to the present than most of our other instinctive first stage efforts are. So if you want to get an attitude that's close to no past and no future, gratitude is pretty close, though it is in the past. So that's the first thing. You cannot manifest except in a state of absolute presence and focus. It's impossible. What's imagined, number two, is as real as what's externally real for programming beliefs, the quantum field. In other words, I have to get myself into a state of mind, not writing checks, into a state of mind that's fabulously wealthy. In a state of mind, not a state of action. A state of mind of fabulous wealth or radiant health or whatever. And think of how hard it is when someone has cancer and they're racked with pain, with drugs, chemotherapy, whatever, radiation, and they're trying to imagine themselves in fabulous health. For God's sake, don't leave it until that stage, because it's immensely more difficult to heal yourself then. So, the conscious mind forms the things we're trying to work on here, but we have to get it into the superconscious to get into the quantum field, because this is the quantum field. The X-ray plane is the quantum field. It's where the first stages of matter start to appear. This stage is pure energy, down from point zero. So here's where the first stages of matter begin to appear in a very rudimentary form. That's where we have to impose the blueprints so that a changed reality can, like a cascade of a waterfall, roll down these intermediate layers and eventually pop into the physical down here. That takes time. That's when most people give up. It's not working for me. I am so special. I am the only person in the universe for which this won't work. That's what we all think. I am the only person that this won't work for in the entire universe. No, isn't that something? So this is what we do. We put whatever it is, fabulous wealth, radiant health, we manage to get it into the superconscious. Remember, no past, no future, impact, what's imagined, etc. is greater than or indistinguishable from what's externally wonderful. Gets in here, into the basic stages of formation of matter. It grows as it descends through time and through frequency until it pops into physical manifestation. That, in a very, very crude form,